Welcome to the Buffalo Bills post-game report. Wow, that's how we like to see our Bills play. I'm Mike.
Finally.
I know. I'm Mike Thornton. Joining me over here on the other side is my co-host, as always, Jake Podger. Jake, talk to me. This is exciting. We got to win every game, whether they're bad, whether they're ugly, and we got the job done today. Talk to me about what you saw on that field today.
Obviously, super happy that we won, but I still am sitting here just wanting more. And it's crazy. We scored 31 points, but it almost feels like we could have put up 50 points had we just not let our foot off the gas pedal at the end there. And in addition to that, just being more consistent on our drives. We started off slow. Scoreless first quarter. Then we put up 14. We're up 14-0. It goes 14-8. And then we end up scoring a little bit. We get a nice cushion. It's 24-8. Things are going well. We're feeling good. Then we let our foot off the gas, and it's like, you can't do that. We're treating this game like we're up by 30 or something like that. So it's just a couple little things. Overall, super happy. Obviously, Gabe Davis showed up like we said he was going to. Mike, I'm sad for you that you didn't end up starting him in your fantasy team.
What was I thinking?
Unfortunate.
I said I had him, and our show ran a little late, and by the time I got up to where I could really look at things and make changes, game time was already on. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate. I was playing against somebody who had Diggs and Josh Allen. It would have been great to counter them, but this league's a little different. I play the same team back-to-back weeks in the playoffs, and the highest score moves on. Great.
But yeah, I'm happy, but I want some more out of it. I don't know. It's just I still am not super sold on it, but you see those flashes where the offense is clicking, we're going down, we're moving the ball well. I think the real kicker was when Tommy Sweeney dropped that one pass, because we probably would have scored on that drive too. And sometimes it's just dumb things, and some penalties, some stupid penalties. Spencer Brown didn't necessarily play the greatest game of all time, but I'm happy. We'll take the win now. Onto the big bad wolf.
That's the understatement of the year. I think Spencer Brown had a horrible game. Oh my really God. Bad, what did he get called for? 3 penalties, 2 holding penalties. He had that, unnecessary roughness. Oh, no, taunting. He got called for taunting. Then they pulled him out for a little bit.
Tommy Doyle went in.
Yeah, I'm like, oh boy. So obviously we talked about it in the pregame show with Sean, who joined us again. Thanks again for joining us, John.
There he is.
Sean from the Red, White, and Bills. We talked about this in the game. Offense is what the offensive line was going to be key. And they got off to a rough start. Oh my God. The first 2 series, I was like, they were all adjusting. Obviously, we moved Spencer Brown. So let's talk about that. We talked about who would move over to that left side for Dawkins. It was Spencer Brown. And they had Williams move out to right tackle. And I think that's exactly how Sean laid it out, what was going to happen. I think it was close to what you said was going to happen. So Spencer Brown on the left, man, he was just out of place. And he was getting manhandled on any type of pass protection. Right?
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. The spin move that Brian Birds put him on the one play, I don't know if you saw it on replay. Made him look silly. It was a real welcome to the NFL moment for Spencer Brown. I think he's had flashes of those, like welcome to the NFL Rook moments, but today was definitely an eye-opening day for him. He's got to get better. He can't have those stupid penalties like he did. Hurting the team. He played against some really good pass rushers today, Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns. So, good experience for him to play left tackle. Now we know for a fact that he probably shouldn't be a left tackle, and got to keep him over at that right side. I still think, obviously run blocking wise, he's still really good at that. He can get the job done there, but his pass blocking needs to improve, and his discipline. He's an emotional guy, but he let it kind of take over a little too much today.
Yeah, I'm sure McDermott had a little bit of had a talk with him as well at some point. But Sean saying Red, White, and Bills, very true. Don't forget they were the number 2 defense overall. So
that is true.
We knew that. We said that on the pregame show. They only give up like 170 yards passing. Right. So they played us tough, and they were without AJ Bouye and one of their other defensive tackles. So
Derek Brown,
right. Who knows what could happen if they were in the game? But I thought that Devin Singletary, again, he probably saw the show. He's probably upset with Red, White, and Bills wearing his jersey, but not making him an impact player. I'm gonna keep on Sean for that one for a little bit. That's fun. But he had a great game, right? We talked last week, and
He did.
I've been saying all year, like, let's get it to where we have a primary back. Let's give them about 60, 70% of the snaps. And man, they went all out this week. I think,
Yeah.
I don't know the snap count, but if you look at just the carries, Singletary had 22 carries and Matt Breida had 1. So, and Singletary ran hard, 86 yards, a touchdown, and he caught one pass for 10 yards. I thought Singletary looked really good, and the guy just runs hard, right?
He does.
So very.
They call him Motor for a reason.
There
I will admit it was the first game where you really felt like we had something with the running game a little bit. And yeah, there were a couple plays where you're forcing it and we're only picking up a yard, and it's like, oh my gosh, here we go with another wasted down. And it's usually after a big play, which is the most frustrating thing, because you have this big play, you have some momentum going, and then you run the ball into a brick wall, and it's like, what the heck is going on here? Now, I do like how they switched it up a little bit. They tried to run some, especially on the touchdown run. They had Isaiah McKenzie come across, fake the handoff to him, a little bit of a distraction, made it a more creative run play, which I think we need to do more of. Like, if you're going to run the football, at least make it creative. Don't just make it a halfback dive right up the middle every time. It's just crazy. So definitely need to see more of that. I think that works. I mean, that touchdown run by Devin Singletary, that really kicked us off and got us going. So, yeah, I mean, very impressed with him today, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, we got Alan out there saying Abada and Davis MVPs of the game. I'm sure they'll be getting some game balls from us today for sure. Yep. Gabe Davis, amazing. Obata. Well, let's talk about Abada a little bit. Yeah, since Alan brought him up. I mean, he came over from the Panthers last year, right? We signed him in the offseason. Pretty high expectations from him. We haven't played him a whole lot this year. But man, when he was, he probably said, "Hey, coach, put me in my former team.
Yeah,
please put me in." And oh my God, he was amazing. 2 sacks.
He looked great.
I know he had more than 2 pressures, but he had the 2 sacks.
Right.
And I mean, talk to me a little about Obata. I mean,
all the former Panthers today really shine, but F.A. Obata really stands out as the one. So last year he comes in from the Panthers. He had 5.5 sacks last year with the Panthers as more of a role player, just mainly a pass rusher. And what's crazy is those 5.5 sacks were more than anyone on the Bills last season, because I think our team leader in sacks was 5 last year. So pretty crazy. This role player comes in, obviously with he has the highest sack count from the previous season. Not really seeing a lot of playing time. Finally, we put him in. He's been getting in a little bit more as the season goes on. And it was just nice. It was so nice to see him come out, face his former team, and he delivered. I mean, he was awesome. All aspects of the ball today. I mean, he was all over the place. Just a fantastic job by him. So gotta love it.
What do you think? So early on, they were going to Knox. Knox was just winning his matchup left and right. I don't know. Did they make an adjustment? Because in the second half, they kind of went away from Knox. So I would imagine they had to have made a defensive adjustment because Knox was having his day. I will say this: when Sweeney dropped that ball at first, I thought it was Knox. I was like, oh no.
So did Jonathan Vilma too. He thought the same thing.
Did he?
Yeah.
Then my son points it out. No, Dad, he's wearing 89. I'm like, oh, you're right.
They both have the same hair, though. It's very similar.
It's so close in the number as well.
Right.
So so they must have made an adjustment, right? Because
I think so, and I noticed, they were bringing the tight end in the backfield a little bit more, and they were trying to help out, I think, where they could with blocking. You even saw on the one play, Devin Singletary was like right up the middle there to help chip and do some blitz pickup. Because it was really a nightmare on the offensive line today. I thought in some circumstances, as far as the run game went, we blocked pretty well. But there were times where we just it was ugly, very ugly. Obviously, the pass rush got to us a little bit, and Spencer Brown was kind of the main cause of that today. But that still needs to be addressed. We have to go. We have to go first round pick with our offensive lineman this year, because it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean. If anything, I mean, I thought maybe that they would keep, and I don't know if Darrell Williams has ever played left tackle in his life, but Spencer Brown had been playing right tackle, so maybe keep him there. He was getting familiar with that, and then have Williams go over to left tackle. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that would be interesting.
It would have been interesting, but Spencer Brown, he was just out. I mean, just out of his
Yeah.
element on the left side.
He
So
was.
again, that we talked about that in the pregame show. I mean, getting these guys the experience. So this was probably a very good experience for him, even though it was, his worst game as a professional to
Yeah.
date. Short
And I'm
career, of
sure.
course,
Yeah.
but he'll
Yeah.
learn. He'll learn from it. And again, we've always said he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's the one guy that just, he'll taunt somebody, and he did,
Yeah.
but that's going to cost us.
He also stole a
Down the
fan's
road.
beer, I think, on the Stephon Diggs touchdown catch. I don't know if
That
you
was,
saw that. They went and
yes,
grabbed the
that
guy's
was
beer.
amazing. Yeah, they
Yeah,
showed
that was
that.
awesome. I love that. Like a true Buffalonian.
So let's see here. Let's talk about obviously the receiving core. So let's talk about Josh first. Josh throws for 19 of 34 for 210 yards, 3 touchdowns,
Yeah,
one INT, bad INT. I mean,
it was.
he had all day to throw on that one. So thankfully, did we keep him out of? No, they scored on that,
That's when
didn't
they
they?
went down and scored.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
went
got
down and
their
scored.
first
So
score.
those turnovers, especially in our own end, is going to be costly. So
Yeah.
again, after that, he played rock solid, and that was really his only mistake. He was, I think, early on. I think Josh is always a little pumped, so he was overthrowing things a little bit.
Yeah,
But
no doubt about it. You
but
could
yeah,
definitely see it. And then once he gets going, once he gets in a rhythm, though,
yeah,
he's like on fire. I
it-
mean, some of the throws he made, that touchdown pass to Gabe Davis, the first one in the back of the end zone like that. I mean,
yeah.
that was an incredible throw. I mean, just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I agree. By the way, I didn't talk about it, but someone's won the $50 gift card. Now you have to wait a little bit because when we do our live shows in the morning, YouTube takes a while before they actually show the chat. And I know there were a lot of scores put out there. And man, for a second, I thought I was going to hit. I had it right at 24 to 14.
24-14. Yeah.
And then they score that touchdown. And again, I'm not going to give myself a gift card, but anyhow, it was pretty close, and it was like, wow, maybe I'll hit one for once. Spot on. But we said we're going to give it to the closest person. So there are a few people that are very, very close. I do know Sean's prediction was 35 to 14. I remember putting that in the channel for him.
Yeah.
So right now, he's got to be the leader. He's only 4 points off. And what I'm going to do is take the most total points between the winning team and the losing team. You were pretty darn close too, because you had it at what
28-17.
28-17. So you're a total
No field goals were being kicked by the Panthers today, though.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that because that did change the game quite a bit for them.
It did.
Obviously, they could have had at least 1 or 2 field goals, and they just couldn't. And they showed on TV, they showed a clip of them trying to get someone who can kick a ball, and it wasn't looking too pretty.
No.
So
I'm surprised that they didn't have Lachlan Edwards or punter try to kick a little bit. I don't know if maybe he's just not a good place kicker, if he's not a straight on, toe kicker or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Usually you'll have a punter come in and do it instead of a receiver. Brandon Zylstra, do it all guy. Love him to death, but man, just really shocking to me. So maybe just Lachlan Edwards isn't that guy. He can't kick field goals.
Yeah.
You just know that.
So that definitely hurt. I mean, they're already not a high scoring team. What do we say? They average a little over 18 points per game, and to not be able to get those 2 field goals could have changed the game. Could have really changed the game. Could have changed the momentum. But we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll definitely take it. Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about. So I was just talking about Josh. He was sacked 4 times, so definitely offensive line struggled, and we've continued to struggle against any team that has good edge rushers, right?
Yep.
These linebackers that can rush off the edge. This was the worst that we looked, but again, we had a lot of things changing this game. We had our right tackle going to left tackle. Williams now has played right tackle, and I think most of what we saw today came on the left side where Spencer Brown was.
It was, yeah, definitely all left side.
Did you think Williams did all right?
Yeah, I actually think they held their own on the right side. I'm not going to say it was great, but I think it was enough, to keep a little bit of pressure off of Josh Allen. But yeah, the left side was atrocious today. It was really bad. I got to go back and I'm going to rewatch some of that, but from what I saw, at least upon the first visuals of it, it was really bad. It was a nightmare. It really was.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about Josh. Let's run on receiving. Obviously, Gabe Davis, 5 for 85, 2 touchdowns.
Great day.
You called it. You said he was going to have a big game, and he did.
Yep.
Dawson Knox had a good start to the game, 4 for 38, and looked like he was just going to be the go-to guy. They made an adjustment, slowed him down. Diggs, 4 for 35 for a touchdown. Nice play in the end zone, being physical. We talked about
Yeah.
that a little bit in the pregame show where Gilmore doesn't like that physicality, but Diggs went down the right side. Great throw by Josh and good play. Great play.
And Stephon Diggs let Stephon Gilmore
Oh,
know who
yeah.
was more physical too
Yeah.
on the one first down catch that he had too. He kind of like shoved him a little bit at the end of the play just to give him a little more to it. But
Yeah.
gotta love to see it.
Yeah, they even mentioned that on TV. Cole Beasley, 4 for 35. I got a little worried. Looked like he
Yeah, the
had
hamstring.
pulled up with a hammy, but he came back in.
Yep.
And so that's good. Looks like he didn't do too much damage because I feel like they would have kept him out
Definitely.
if it was that bad. I did get worried too when I saw Wallace come up one of the pass plays where he was limping, but it just happened that someone stepped on his foot. Uh,
Yep.
Singletary was 1 for 10. McKenzie 1 for 7. Sweeney with that drop pass. Now it was nice seeing McKenzie and Marquise Stevenson in there, right? I said it was,
Yeah.
before the game, I felt like this might be the first time Stevenson was comfortable. Felt like he's been looking nervous the last few times. He fielded everything cleanly. What'd you think?
Yeah, there was just the one play, and it was on the kickoff actually by Brandon Zylstra when he kicked it off. It was basically a squib kick. He had a hard time of getting a hold of the football, but then he picked it up and he was good. But I think for the most part, yeah, he had some really nice returns today. He looked more natural. You could tell he's kind of easing into the game now, so it's not too big for him or anything like that, which is always very promising to see. I like the use of Isaiah McKenzie on the offense. I want to see even more of that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I mean, like I said, that touchdown run to Devin Singletary, he did a hell of a job because they were keying on him. They were watching to see where he was going. He
Yep.
came across and faked the handoff there and then went to Devin and it was a touchdown. So fantastic job there. That's where he can really add a lot of value to this team, and we got to use more of that because he is a weapon. And I know that they're keying on him the whole time. So
Yeah.
definitely good stuff there.
You showed me something a few weeks ago. You sent me a video, I believe, and it was with Josh Allen and the magic he can do with his hands. So on that
Yeah,
play you talked about, yeah, the Panthers thought for sure that
it was going
McKenzie had the
Isaiah.
ball, right?
Yeah.
They gave it to Singletary. And I'll tell you what, Singletary would have had a huge run if it wasn't for that the guy who grabbed his face mask.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Did you see that hole?
I did.
I
I
mean,
did.
he was going to go
Gosh.
for quite a ways there, and the guy
Mhm.
reaches out, and thankfully he didn't get injured on the play. But
Right.
yeah, so that was nice to see. Anyhow, there's not a lot to talk about. Cam did what Cam does. I mean, what frustrates me too sometimes when I say that Cam does what Cam does, he's going to run the 2 point conversion, and yet you can't stop it.
Yeah.
But we did stop him on a couple key fourth downs, and he does what he does. He's going to run the ball. 18 of 38 for 156, one
Yeah.
touchdown.
Passing was just Cam is
Yeah,
not a
no,
great passer anymore.
I've never
A
felt
lot
he
of batted
was.
balls. What's that?
I've never felt he was a good passer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but now you can see it even more so
Yeah,
with his release and everything. I mean, it's just slower and it doesn't it looks like he's like that deep ball to DJ Moore. I
right,
mean,
right, right.
luckily it's underthrown, right? Because that's a
Yeah.
touchdown. Any other quarterback's probably throwing a touchdown there. It's just a lot of things with that, but he does add a lot of value with the running game. I mean, what did he have today? He had
15 for 71 yards
I
and
was
a
gonna say,
touchdown.
yeah, I mean, and I think the Panthers actually kind of held him back a little bit because on a couple of fourth downs, key plays, you would have thought that he would have took it up the middle, but they ran something else, like the screenplay to Robbie Anderson on the one play. Instead of him taking it up the middle and getting a fourth down conversion, they tried to throw a like a bubble screen or something like that to Robbie Anderson instead of him just taking it himself. So I think the Panthers kind of screwed him a little bit with their play calling today, and um, you know yeah, it's no more evident now that Cam is just not a starting NFL quarterback.
Didn't we mention, or did Sean mention, or you mention in the pregame show that he's coming off some injury from last year? Cam, I'm talking Cam.
Cam, yeah, yeah. So well, I mean, he had COVID last year. I know his shoulder's always been a
Okay.
major issue,
All right.
and I think you're starting to really
Yeah,
see
that,
the
like you said, that deep
decline.
throw. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, Cam's a big guy. He's a strong guy. He should have been able
I
to
know
throw
it.
that no problem, but he definitely seemed to struggle with that throw and obviously underthrew it. And that
Right.
would have been a huge play. So, what'd you think of? So, again, Cam Newton did what Cam does. No surprise there. I didn't expect him to throw the ball much more than he did. And I expected him to run the ball exactly like he did. I thought we did a pretty good job on him. We did a great job on the rest of the rushing game.
We did. We
Hubbard
did.
Hubbard did run for 5 yards average. He had 8 carries for 40 yards. I think most of that came on one long run
There's the one big run. Yeah.
early on.
Yep.
Anderson, they did a little trick play with Anderson. He was 2 for 33. And Abdullah was only 4 for 7. Now, my one bright spot from fantasy football, again, I'm so dinged up. I had to play Abdullah. And
Wow.
he at least came out, he at least 4 for 48 with a touchdown. So he
Yeah.
saved me a little bit with that. DJ Moore, how'd you think we did on him? And then talk to me about our corners, because I feel like they both were.
They both played well.
Yeah. Did you think so?
Yeah. Now
Okay.
Levi had that one penalty. I thought he played a really sound game outside of that. I'm actually very happy with his play today. And that was a big test, Levi Wallace versus whoever he was covering, whether it was DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson. I thought he handled them both very well. DJ Moore's a really good receiver, and we held him in check today. I mean, he still made, a couple plays here and there, but to take a guy out of the game like that. Now, it did help that Cam wasn't really throwing the
Yeah.
ball well either, but I think both of our corners, Dane Jackson and Levi Wallace, played a really nice game today. Dane got beat on that one play
Yeah.
by DJ Moore, but outside of that, he recovered pretty well.
Yeah, so that was a huge play because Dane did get beat, and thank goodness
Yeah.
it wasn't like a Brady or somebody who would easily taken advantage
Oh,
of
I
that
know,
and hit that
right?
spot on. So
Very lucky.
we'll see. Dane will learn, I'm sure.
Good teams got to catch a few breaks, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
sometimes it happens where, the chips align and you get lucky sometimes. And a lot of good teams have that happen to them. So,
Yeah, so I feel like last week we talked a lot about the penalties that didn't go our way. I will say this: I feel like Carolina got absolutely
They got
screwed
screwed.
on that. Now,
Yeah.
unless we are not down there, Jake, I don't know if can you say something, because I didn't see anything physical that would
Right.
for me to get flagged. But can you say something to somebody? Would they flag you if you said something that the ref heard? I don't
That
know.
would be the only case. That's the only thing I could think of that maybe happened. And if that was the case, it had to have been something really bad because there's
It
a lot of
would.
chirping going on down
Yeah.
on the field.
Yeah.
It had to be some type of slur, or maybe it was directed towards the ref or something like that, or a coach or whatever it may be. But that's the only thing I could think of because that was kind of a BS call.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that. I mean, just a really, really odd situation. But it did lead us to scoring a touchdown on that drive. We would not have scored on that drive
No.
had it not been for that call.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to call it out. I mean, we're always complaining when we don't get the calls.
For sure.
I think the Panthers got absolutely screwed in that. And again, that could have been
Definitely.
a big game changer there.
Mhm.
Before we get into game balls and who's running, if anyone's going to be running this week, I mean, let's see. Did we go through the Carolina receiving team? I think we did. Actually, no.
We were just talking about DJ, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for the most part,
He was
he
6
held
for
everyone in check.
48. Yeah. Abdullah was 4 for 48 out of the backfield. Robbie Anderson 3 for 29. So not much
Yeah.
at all. And again, our defense showed up. It was nice seeing top two defenses, or two of the best in the league, square off. And initially it was like, oh man, is this going to be one of those 10-7, 14-10 games?
That's how it appeared, definitely.
Right. And but no, we got our offense in rhythm. So before we go to the game balls tonight, any closing thoughts you have? Like we talked about McDermott, there really wasn't anything for McDermott to make a hard decision today, but how'd you think? I mean, was there anything you saw that maybe you questioned? But I feel like there wasn't too much that he had
No,
to
not
deal with.
really. I think it's just the momentum killers. We got to stop with that. Like
Yeah.
we have these really explosive plays. We go out there, we'll throw a deep pass, or Josh has a 26-yard run, and then we just kind of abandon that. Like keep the pedal, like keep your foot on the gas pedal. Don't let off. And we did that too, even when we had a lead. It's like we're not up by 30 points. Teams can come back. They almost did come back. We're lucky that they didn't have the best offense today, and we
Yeah.
do have a pretty good defense, luckily. But yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway is you can't let up like that. Just keep pounding, as Carolina would say, keep pounding. I mean, it's like crazy to me that you kind of just think that you have a lead, you're just going to run the clock out. That's not the way to play the game. You got to keep attacking. You got to keep being aggressive. So yeah, I guess that's the biggest takeaway is just continue to be aggressive. We're not going to be a good team until we actually do that. And we play a complete game of football because we started off, I mean, we were flat. We came out, it was 0-0. I thought Josh Allen was hurt on the first sack, actually, when he got ragdolled pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, I don't think it was a sack. It was an incomplete pass, but still. It was maybe a fumble. Was it a fumble or something? It was on the first series, and I thought he was injured. I was worried. I don't think it was a fumble. I think it was an incomplete pass now that I'm thinking about it. But nonetheless, yeah, I think it's just we got to play a complete game. You got to be aggressive the entire time. You can't let off because things can happen. We saw it last night, even with the Colts and Patriots game.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to play a complete game with the Patriots coming up this week. The one good thing on Josh as well. I don't say the one good thing. Another good thing. It looked like the ankle was okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he had that one nice run. One of the linebackers missed him. Who's 43 on their team? I think that's
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Reddick, and you could tell Reddick was just so frustrated by missing because that was a big play. I think that was
huge, 26 yards.
I think that was a third down play, I want to say.
I think it was.
And I think Reddick, you could just see, he was like, oh my God, I cannot miss those tackles.
Yeah.
But that's just, I mean, Josh is not an easy guy to tackle. He's big, he's fast, he's athletic. So, I mean, you can't beat yourself up all day for missing that particular tackle. Yeah. But he had a shot on him, and that's one of their better players. So, but yeah, so that ankle looked good, right? I didn't see anything.
I'm not worried.
I didn't see him limping whatsoever.
Yep.
All right, Josh. See, I called you Josh. It's the first time it was going to happen at some point.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my goodness, we're talking about Josh, awesome. And I call you Josh. All right, let's get into game balls. Jake, who you giving game balls to today?
Absolutely, Gabe Davis. Then on the other side of the ball, you got to go F.A. Obata. I think my dad hit the nail on the head when he said that. Those two were clearly the MVPs. I'm going to let you give the game ball to the other guy that probably should get a game ball. I'll leave that be. Are we doing laps or are we going to wait on that one? We'll go to that after this?
Well, yeah, we'll go to that after.
Okay. All right.
So
I'll let you do your game
for
balls.
me, you've already given Gabe a game ball, obviously. Singletary.
Yeah.
Hands down,
there
Singletary gets a game ball.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I agree with you on Obata. Definitely deserved it. And I'm going to say that's it for me. I'm not going to be. I mean, we could have said Diggs, but it wasn't. Again, there wasn't big numbers. This was a very good defense. But to have Singletary rush the ball 22 times, one of our running backs rushed 22 times for 86
when was the last
yards.
time that happened?
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to start the show with Jake. Did we see a running back score a touchdown? I don't know.
I know.
I can't remember the last time we saw that, but it's been a while. It feels like at least.
It has.
So, yeah. So that's pretty much it for the game balls. Let's move over to
Star even got a sack today. Star Latula even got a sack today.
You know, we didn't really give much love to the defense. Do you have the stats up with on your screen right there?
I do. Yeah, let me pull them.
I know that Obata had 2 sacks. You're saying Star had 1, and I feel like there was
Taron Johnson had the 1.
Taron Johnson.
AJ Klein had an interception.
Man, when that interception happened, I thought that was Taron Johnson for a second because I saw the 4 and I didn't expect AJ to be in there. But it doesn't get any easier of an interception. Right. I mean, he's just sitting there, standing there,
perfect.
Ball right to him.
Yeah, big day for the Buffalo Panthers today. Let me be honest with you on there.
Love it. All right, let's move over to if anyone's running laps. Do you have anyone after a game like this?
I think just Spencer Brown.
Yeah.
It was a welcome to the NFL moment for him. He got to play left tackle, that primetime position on the offensive line, and he struggled a lot. He made a lot of mental errors. Love the guy to death. I think he's going to be okay. He'll recover from this. We'll figure it out. Sean McDermott's probably going to have a sit-down conversation with him, but we'll be just fine. He definitely belongs back at that right tackle spot. Left tackle might be a little too much for him. That's typically reserved for your better pass blockers, and that's not really him. So I think he can develop. He's still pretty raw too, and we'll be okay. But that's my guy that's running laps. That's about it, though.
Yeah, it has me a little concerned for next week because we already know that Dawkins will most likely be out because if he just got added today, and
Yeah.
it depends on his vaccination situation. But
Right. I think he is. And then what's the rule now, too? If you've, I mean, this wouldn't apply to him, but if you've already had it, are you still, do you fall in the same category as
that's
like a vaccinated person? Or is that like,
that's a great point because
it's 90 days immunity now, I guess? Who makes these rules?
I don't know.
These are insane. Like, you just don't know what's what. But I don't know where that even puts these players. Like AJ Klein, for example. So because he was on the COVID list, he's off the COVID list now. Because he got it, does he still fall in the same category as like a vaccinated? Like if he's not vaccinated,
right.
what is it? You know what I mean? Like, does he still get tested every day?
Yep.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, because everything I read, if you've had COVID, you have more antibodies to fight more
for 90 days or something like that, or 60 days maybe.
Yeah, even more. You have more antibodies than the actual vaccination gives you. So it'd be interesting to see what the rule is on that. But we could be without him, and we could be in the same situation. Now, we did talk about, I mean, you know, Sean had said, let's put Cody Ford over at left tackle, which we didn't. But Cody Ford did play, right? Didn't he play guard?
He did. He was the right guard today.
Yeah.
I don't know. I worry about putting him at tackle, but it was his natural position that he came in as. He came in as a right tackle. And I will say he kind of held his own when he played right tackle for us. And maybe we regressed. He regressed because we tried to alter the line a little bit there. So could be. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, for me, the only one running laps is Spencer Brown for sure. That's it. You know, like Sweeney, maybe. Yeah, I'll put Sweeney in there for that drop. I mean,
drop ball. It's uncharacteristic though. The guy really, I feel like every time he's been targeted, he usually makes the catch.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Sweeney. I've always said good things. My son says, Dad, I could have caught that pass.
I know.
I love when he chimes in with those.
That's a case of starting to run and assuming you caught it before you actually catch it.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of wraps it up for this post game. I know it was real quick, but when you have a victory like this, it's an easy show, right? And let me fix one thing here. I do have a couple other things to talk about real quick. Let me fix that. Let me just say we had our giveaway and we announced the winner was Alfonso Sanchez from Las Vegas, Nevada. I've reached out to you, Alfonso. I haven't heard back yet, but you're probably out Christmas shopping, so hopefully I hear back from you soon. If you see this, get a hold of me. Just respond to the email. And let's see. And then the gift card that we talked about, once the chat is out there and I can see who won the gift card, I'll be reaching out to that person. You might have to help me, Jake, get a hold, because I know some of the folks were some of your family members that put some out there. Yeah. And we'll have to see. We'll have to try to reach out to whoever won. Right now, I think it's going to be Sean, which would be super cool.
Yeah, Sean's looking real good right now. He's looking like the leader here.
It's going to be hard to imagine somebody's better than being 4 points off. So
yeah, and he got the opposing team score right on the nose.
That's the only difference. If you had hit that 14,
you're
winning this, right?
28.
You would have had it 3 points. So
is it Price is Right style where you got to be?
Yeah, no, I thought you have to be under. I know. No, I didn't announce that. So if I did think about that, Simon, you have to be like Price is Right underneath. You can't. You can't go over. But no, we're gonna go closest to that.
I like it.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about our show, Jake, next week. I mean, we have Christmas on Saturday. A lot of folks are getting together on Saturday and Sunday. I know we are with my wife's family. We're doing her family on Sunday and my family on Saturday. So let's talk during the week and figure out if we can fit a show in. I know you'll be busy as well, but I do want to
follow us on social media because we will post an update on when we're doing the show.
Yeah, we'll get that scheduled as quick as possible. Maria out there saying great show as usual. I want to say to everyone, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Appreciate you guys so much. Jake, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.
You too,
I hope you have a great time. We'll talk soon.
Heck yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun, man. Let's have a great Christmas, and we'll talk soon and figure out what we're gonna do for the show next week.
That sounds good to me.
Right now, I need you to go cheer for the Ravens. I know they got off to a lead. My son,
14-14 right now.
oh boy, my son is a huge Ravens fan, as most of you who've been watching the show knows. I don't want to see any tears from that little boy today, but he might take it better because he knows Lamar's not in there.
Yeah.
Jake, I'm trying to send you this picture. Here at my house, I don't have great cell coverage, so I have to use Wi-Fi. But my son is all in on Lamar. So much so that he got dreads. He got dreads.
No way.
I'm not kidding you.
It's awesome.
The little toe head, the blonde hair. He asked his mom to do this. She did it, I think it was 2 nights ago.
That's awesome.
Looks pretty good on him. He's going to set a new trend, I believe. And I'll get that picture over to you so you can see it.
I got to see that. That's incredible. I love it.
All right, everyone. Take care. We'll talk to you later. Take care, Jake.
All right, you too. Go Bills.
Go Bills.